This week, we're celebrating the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and we're doing something a bit daft and entirely brilliant. We're pitching the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. We've also got this month's biggest releases covered, and in the Pixel Picks Showdown, we're settling one of gaming's great debates, the best movie tie-in game ever made. All this and more on this week's Pixel Parents Podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents Podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I am your host, Liam Kirkkelvin, and today I'm of course joined by the bearded one, Scott, the OG tastemaker, Curry. How are we, Scott?
Very well. The illuminated one. I now have light in my room. If you thought I was sitting in some sort of fucking sex dungeon the last few weeks.
Well,
all those video viewers say...
How do
I have rectified that when you don't know, but I've got one of those weird fucking social media lights now. Look, you can see it in my specs. It's like fucking. I'm now an influencer, which you know you need to get that sort of shit. But I'm here. I'm excited to settle some great debates, and you know it's an exciting week in the world of gaming movies.
Yeah.
Don't really know what I want to say with that, but. Yeah, and in answer to your original question, because I've done a really good job there at skirting around the issue and not actually telling you who I am, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yes, I'm also very good, sir. Time of recording, I've finished up for effectively a week off work, as we say here. And when this goes live, we'll be all enjoying hopefully a nice long weekend. So, I mean, yeah, in terms of weeks going, it's going good, man. I've also had family up this week, which has been great to see all them. And yeah, just been a good week. And a much needed break and lots of shenanigans this weekend, of course. But yeah, no, there's plenty of stuff, plenty of games. And we're going to get into that this week, of course, outside the main topic. We've got all the big hitters coming this April. But yeah, what I would say before we get into stuff, Scott, April Fool's Day this year.
Fuck it, sack it off, Liam.
There you go. I wrote
my post on Blue Sky said as much as I needed to say about it, and that the world is fucking shite enough for people to not do fucking terrible April Fool's jokes. I don't need fake companies coming out with fake games, fake shite. Just fucking put it in the bin, geese piece, and fuck off. That's me, just Scrooge of April, you know.
I'm intrigued to get your thoughts. Just I know this week we had April Fool's Day, and I was like, it's probably the most non-April Fool's Day in a while. But I don't know if it's just a case of me getting older, saltier. You know, every now and then I get something, but it's just that, oh, for God's sake. And I say that as someone who's a purveyor of a good dad joke. You know what I mean? We all enjoy one, but these just are something different entirely. It feels like it's something from a different era.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. You know
I mean, it's never worth it, and it's always something pure shite that doesn't impact me. Do you know what I mean? So it's never really worth the hassle. But also, you know, the world is enough of a joke that I don't need any more misery compounded onto that.
Still waiting on the punchline on that one, I'm afraid. But yeah, I know. But listen, I will say, if you are interested, I've got something lined up for you lovely listeners on that topic later on in the show. Just a wee teaser, right? That's what we do, we tease you out. But there's lots to talk about, Scott, so I'm going to crack on, but just get some housekeeping out the road before we do, which means, of course, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, which is a weekly gaming show by parents discussing all things gaming whilst raising little ones. And you can get new episodes every Friday on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And please go subscribe to us on YouTube so you don't miss our very tired faces every week. You can find us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social or email us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. Of course, please just go support the show for free at patreon.com/Pixel Parents. You get bonus shows, community chats. It costs you £0. It's the best deal in
Patch
gaming.
notes that went up this week as well.
Indeed, and that's the payoff there. We have a new episode of the patch notes, as Scott had mentioned, which is our bonus show. We get to go into more deep dives into geeky things, and this week, or this month should I say, it's all about the cost of gaming. More like PlayStation, as it's titled.
You kept that one to yourself, and it made me happy reading it, because it's pure shite patter.
Yeah, but if you are also frustrated with the rising cost of shite and you want to hear a little bit of a first world problem take on that in relation to gaming, then go get there. It'll cost you nothing. All you have to do is join for free at patreon.com/Pixel Parents. You can also drop a 5-star review, share this podcast online with your friends, whatever you do. It really does help us out. So a massive thank you to everybody that joins us each and every week. So Scott, it is a new month. Spring has sprung. Are we feeling most excited for a weekend of gaming? See what I did there? Because it's Easter. Egg-cited. See what I did? Yeah.
I didn't even hear that. I didn't even hear it.
Oh,
no, because I'm working, Liam, so you can all kiss my fucking hoop. I'll be, when you're always comatose from devouring too much chocolate, I will be running around Sainsbury's sending people fucking chocolate. So it's good. Yeah, but no, I'm excited just to enjoy Easter. I think it's just been, the run up to this has actually just been, trying to get my daughter and my wife ready to be off, because they're obviously they won't be at school. My wife is a teacher, and I always need to clarify that when I say she's not at school, because I'm not fucking, I don't want to say something blue, but
Mills.
Scott Mills. Oh God, you said it. But it's one of those things where it has just been like the slow, gradual decline to Easter. My wife is now, very, very pregnant, and getting increasingly more so.
You only will now at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. 5 minutes before we came on air, it was downstairs, and the wee one was fucking kicking lumps out of her. Like, I literally feel it inside the belly. It's bizarre. It's just, I'll be off when I'm off. I'm off my other work, so that's good. So I've got a long weekend for that, and I'll get to enjoy a wee sleep when I come home, which is always needed.
Smashing. I'm going to shake things up this week, Scott. I'm going to kick things off with a little bit of what we've been playing. So I've got a couple of things I want to catch up on. First of all, Crimson Desert, just as a little follow-up from last week. Again, the book club approach, right? I'm going to tell you a wee bit about how I found my other week with this. I'm going to ask you what you're up to, because I think I might, looking at your blue sky, there's a story there. But yeah, Crimson Desert, again, after everything we said last week, right, just want to just brief bit of time on this. I have to say that, oddly, the game really has got his hooks at me somehow. So, see around chapter 4, that old adage, see after that X amount of hours, that all that pish, but really around chapter 4, there's a moment in it. And you really have to, it does open up to explore. Now, I think games like this, I'm very much like, I'll just very much go on rails to kind of learn a few of the systems, kind of get to know the world, and then I'll start to kind of venture out. So I feel like I've had the stabilizers taken off me, and, I could really explore, start taking on more enemies, and doing loot, just being like, that looks lovely over there, I'm going to check it out. It was great. Just something, a total chewing gum experience. Felt like playing a big MMO, or even just like any other epic open world game. Very simple, great, lovely scenery. I think I enjoy it just now. Is it the best game I've ever played? Like I said last week, no. It has its moments, it has its jank, it has its frustrating parts, but I'm finding the fun within it, and it's something that I'm just looking forward to kind of getting back to that. I did have a massive opportunity last weekend to sit. My wife went out for the evening and played nothing but Crimson Desert, and instead I just procrastinated and watched a bunch of shite on YouTube, and, totally regretted it come the Sunday, because this is when it really did click into place, since here I am a few days later. So that's the one thing. I've got another thing I want to talk about, but before I do, Scott, is Crimson Desert still in your possession?
Yeah, still in my possession. I actually made the pilgrimage to CEX in the shop, game in hand, and I was just like, I'm looking around to try and see if there was any other games that I would pick up if I traded it in, and there wasn't anything there. So I was just like, right, well, I guess I'm now fucking stuck with this thing. Liam, it's fucking dog shit. Like, it is fucking pish. Still on chapter 2, and I'm never going to make it to chapter 4, right? I have no intention of making it. But every single minute I've played of this game, and I said this to you the other day, you're lucky if I get a half hour, 45 minutes out of it before I'm just bored and I can't be asked anymore. Like, I just can't spend any more time in it because running 2 random fucking shitey quest. Like, I've done 3 quests in the last week trying to find fucking sheep. Like, why the fuck am I trying to find fucking sheep? This guy's been fucking dropped from the sky and I'm looking for sheep. Like, he's fucking peace. So that pissed me off in the first place. And then, the grappling I still continue to love it. That's the best part of it. Going from a drop kick to a big swing never fucking gets old. And I think it's hilarious every single time I do it. But every other moment of that game is just like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, it's just, I spend every single minute of it just like, I could be playing something completely different. Like, this is just wasted time at this moment. But it's also just one of those things where, because I've bought it, it's the Dragon's Dogma 2 issue. Because I've bought it, I now need to play it. But I'm teetering on that line, Liam, where if anything fell into my lap that is not this, I'd be away. I'd have gone already, So shite. I fucking hate it. I hate it so fucking much.
You're very likely that's going to happen sooner than you think. Sooner than you think. We're going to go through the April releases shortly, but I totally get it because, like, especially early doors, like I said last week, if the game fights you at first, man, like, it's totally fighting against you and you're pushing the rock up the hill. I've somehow persevered and now it's starting to roll down. And it's like, right, okay, I feel like any game, once you get into a flow with it, start to get in the rhythm, particularly the combat. Because at first I felt quite discouraged to take on these big, massive, like, groups of enemies. It's like, I'm just going to get tanked, skill issue. But then you start to just take your time, learn what the game wants you to do, learn dance, and then before you know it, you're RKOing everybody and you've got a pattern, and then it's, I'm running head first into groups, clearing out locations, getting the loot, and it's like, yes, like, if I wish it was like this from the get-go, but I suppose you kind of had to go through it to get there. And it's the most annoying trope in video games. It gets good after X. It's like, how many times have we heard it with games that we both love?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the biggest variable in that is, can you be asked? And nor should you be asked as well. That's the thing. Like, I don't think that should be a prerequisite for any game. And it does, it's purely down to your mileage will vary based on how arsed you can be with the grind. Because it could take you anywhere 8 hours plus to get through that. Do you know what I mean? And that's quite a long. You can finish other games in that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's quite long, but I'm going to keep on with it. I think it's still going to be something I'm going to chip away at in the background here. We spoke about it earlier as well. Procopia is one that I've kind of bounced off of, but I still have views of getting back to it. It's just that the time requirements is getting me down a little bit. I spoke about that last week, but I'm not going to linger on it because I think it was 2 weeks in a row. But there's one thing I just want to talk about.
I'll linger on it for a minute longer, Liam, if you permit.
Of course.
Because I finished it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Rolled credits on the story, and it's fucking brilliant. Like, every single minute I've spent in that game has been a joy. Even the grindy stuff has been a joy. I fell head over heels with it. Now, does that mean that now that I've finished it and heard what the story has to tell me, am I going to go back and change the whole place? Are we going to raise everything and build it back up again? I'm a fuck. Everything's just going to remain looking the exact same way because I have no interest in fixing it all back up again. But for the time that I spent with it, excellent, man. Absolutely fucking brilliant. And it's one of those things where I can dip back in and out. Been playing it with the wee one as well, so she's been enjoying it and kind of having an opportunity to play it as well. So Aye, Picopia, Switch 2, Dream game, great, shite, pitch.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad it's definitely like an excellent game. Like this again, it's just if games in general, they can just fight against you. These are two big games we spoke about last week. You put it very well. Endless game fatigue, and sometimes it can just be a case of it's a timing thing. And I know there's going to come a point where I'm just going to get back to that Picopia just now, and it's probably Crimson Desert that's knocked it off. It's also because I'm my own worst enemy, Scott. As I keep saying, like this has been one of the longest procrastination eras I've had with my gaming because I'm like, oh, something else. Like I started playing Starfield again on my ROG just purely because I'm like, well, I've never actually touched it on that. Let's see how it runs. And they've added a few updates and it's running great. And I'm like, cool, I can do that. But then I decided to pick up a different game on Steam, a game that only just launched not long ago this week. A wee game called Raccoin. Scott, have you heard of this?
I have heard of it. I'm trying to avoid it, Liam. So whatever you tell me here is going to be fucking the worst.
Well, what I'll say is that people might be asking, what is Raccoin? And summary, it is a coin pusher roguelike. Now, coin pushers are all familiar whenever you go to any type of like M&Ds or family amusements things. You put the wee coin in and it just falls down and then it slowly starts to push it out.
Tipping point.
Think tipping point indeed, sir. Good one indeed. But Scott, my sweet lord, like this game is very, very simple, but it's the ultimate dopamine rush game. I mean, and it's also perfect as if you're just wanting to sit on the couch with the second screen, in this case your Steam Deck, whatever it is. It's just fantastic for that. And I think we need games like that. You know, it's filling that void that Balatro had left, but it's not going to be like Balatro. It's a lot more simple because you don't have the poker strategy elements to kind of worry about and you're learning hands and all that stuff. It's really just a case of pull the trigger, dump the coin, and yes, there's other things in there. You'll have extra kind of like coins with abilities you can drop in. You'll have prizes that you can use that like hoover up all the coins. And all you have to do, very much simple, very much like, why is it escaping me? Clover Pit, right? It's saying very much like that. You've got a certain score to hit, a very simple input, and there's roguelike elements in there that you can use to kind of help each run. And that's all you have to do. And Jesus Christ, it's just so addictive, and it's the, it's the learning more and more about it, that rogue element. And I know you're talking about endless game fatigue, but this one's just a little bit different because it's just that one more go, very much like a coin pusher in real life. The wee sound of the coins trickling down, everything in there. It's in that thing, in your brain. You're like, oh, this is nice. It's like an end of night game that you can go and play. Very, very addictive. But I found it's just the perfect game on the ROG, man. Like, and I feel like I need to get it on people's radars here. It sold over 100,000 copies, like within the first 24 hours, which is amazing. And I just think this is going to be a must play for fellow tired gamers out there, Scott, or fellow handheld enjoyers. You know what I mean? Or just any adult gamer out there that's really maybe you're wanting to catch up on TV as well as get your game time in. You don't want to choose. This is perfect. You know what I mean? It scratches that itch for both. Which is great because, Daredevil Season 2 just started and I've still got like Fallout and all that to catch up on. So absolutely perfect for that, man. Right now, I think they're doing like a wee offer for launch.
Just
like just over a tenner, I think it was. About a tenner it cost. This is definitely one that you'll see getting added to Game Pass within the next year, I'd imagine. I get a funny feeling this is going to pop up in a lot of podcasts this week, I would say. Definitely one to watch. Or just go and treat yourself to this Easter weekend, Scott.
The abundance of coins that I'm seeing on the Steam page is almost overwhelming. Like, it's like Japanese TV show and The Simpsons overwhelming. It's like, oh man.
You think
I could see. No, I get that, but I could see myself getting fucking obsessed with this, and that's dangerous.
This is like your perfect jobby game. Like, that's probably the only way to describe it. You're
45 minute runs.
That's it. Both legs are completely dead. The worst pins and needles of your life. Sitting there just pushing out logs and coin pushing at the same time.
What was his name? Virgil. Oh no, I'm thinking of a film. I'll come back to that. But it is something that I've heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot about it in different podcasts already this week, and it's been something that I've been trying to avoid, like the plague, because I don't need anything more like that. But, raccoons and coins, I'm in, man. So hear me next week talk about it, and I will be on board the Raccoin train. Don't you fucking worry about that.
It's derailed the plan, because my plan was also to go play Super Meat Boy 3D, which is on Game Pass. And I thought, well, I'll have time to do that. Got it there on the rogue, and I just didn't get to it because of Raccoin. And I don't have any regrets.
That's what happens. It's always the same. I just a couple of things before we continue, but we actually got code for the Nintendo Switch release for Kena Bridge of Spirits, a game that I've actually never played before. Surprisingly, having had the PlayStation for so long, it's something that's always evaded me. Managed to play the first sort of kind of 3-4 hours of it just to kind of get my feet wet and experience what the game has to offer. And that's some good ass shit. That is a Saturday morning TV show good ass shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so sweet. It's just, I love the wee guys, the wee fucking people, the spirits, the combat, the fact that it kind of mimics the kind of Souls-like things, having all the different abilities and stuff like that there is great. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've not got far enough to look at, what's happening next, but reading through what we've had in terms of like the press packs and stuff like that, it's like, I could get into this. It's like, no, man. Talking about different sort of kind of rewards and abilities and stuff like that you can get as a new game plus with sort of greater challenges in this edition. So that's pretty good as well. But with it being the Switch 2 edition, it's actually the anniversary DLC, so it has everything that you would get from that DLC anyway. New Charmstone, Spirit Guide trials, outfits, and accessibility features and stuff as well as the new game plus at the same time. But it just basically brings it to all places now. Steam, Epic Games Store, PS5, PS4, and the Xbox series of consoles as well. But it's just, it's been one of those things where, because I've finished Procopia now, it was just there to pick it back up again. Like, I played it for a few hours after we got the code, and I was like, I want to continue with this, but also Dr. Tangrowth needs help. He needs help, and Bleak Beach isn't going to clear itself. So I had to get on top of that. But now that that's been cleared, it's going to be the slow descent to clearing some of the games that I've got, because it's just been ridiculous picking up things here and there. And just spending a lot more times with games. I've suddenly got, I said this to you a few days ago, I've suddenly got the need to go and play WWE 2K26 for absolutely no fucking reason. It's WrestleMania season, as you said, so that's obviously fucking true for that. I have desire to play through the Legend of Zelda franchise for some reason, something that I have never done. Like, the Zelda games. Yeah, the Zelda games that I have finished, and this is going to come as a shock to pretty much every single person that has ever listened to this podcast, but the Zelda games that I have completed in my lifetime are Twilight Princess and the Minish Cap. Those are the only two Zelda games that I have ever completed. So there's potentially a future where I go through and just finish hundreds of Zelda games in the next few months until the bairn is born. So that's there. I want just something just to sort of throw time at, but also see the reward for actually finishing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking that's going to be the future. But then also, your Raccoin, things like that. I want to play Twilight Princess all over again, allegedly. I bought The King Is Watching on Steam, but I've got all sorts of shite to play on Steam, and it's just like, there's too many games available. Steam sale has just ruined my life. Every single time they come up, it's just, games are so cheap that backlogs are just becoming trunks now, not even logs, just fucking tree trunks.
I know it's it's not going to get any easier. It's a good segue into what's coming up this month, Scott, because it's been a while since I've did this. We've always just missed the threshold catch for this, but I thought, it's a great time. It's the start of April. A lot of video game releases starting to hot up, and I thought we'd just kind of go through some highlights. Now, I'm taking the list here from Eurogamer, so shout out to them. They have a wonderful list of every big game that's kind of releasing over the course of the calendar year, so please do go check that out as well if you're ever want to have a wee nosy at what's upcoming, what you can spend your pennies on. This week, Scott, we've had two big releases, which first one being Goat Simulator 3 on Switch 2 on the 1st of April. That's not a joke. And Darwin's Paradox on the 2nd of April, the wee octopus game from Konami, and that's on PS5, Xbox X and S, and Switch 2. They'll both be out by the time this podcast goes live. The reason why I'm skipping by it is because I know that's not really on either of our radars realistically. And speaking of which, of games that are not on your radar, is for Scott, it's going to be big day on the 7th of April, which is Starfield coming to PlayStation 5. Now, again, not going to linger on it, but myself and Alex, when he joined us a few episodes ago, we talked about how we enjoyed our time in Starfield. If you're a Bethesda fan, might be something that's worth checking out if you've been curious on PS5. If you align more with Scott's views on Bethesda, might be one you want to skip. So there you go. You should be well versed by now.
Not a Bethesda thing. It's just fucking dog shit. It's so pish, man. The most boring game on earth.
It's one of those ones where I looked at it in very much three phases. I had the first phase where it was okay, at launch, played it was all right. And then I went back again. And that second one where I really started to dig into the side quests and all that stuff and doing the bounty hunting and really just started to role play. That was so much more fun. And then the third phase, which is just continuing that with the DLC, which again has just been a blast because it made these improvements as it's kind of went on through the years. But I digress. I'm going to move on. Scott, I'm not going to go through every one that's coming out right. I'm just going to just cherry pick some ones to ask to see where you're at on it. Top of one here, Pokemon Champions coming to Switch and Switch 2 on the 8th of April. Does that tickle one's pickle?
Nope. Could not care less. Could not give one fuck. If you told me that was already out, I wouldn't have even fucking batted an eyelid. So there you go.
We're going to build this up with crescendo here, people. So another one here to put on the radar, Scott. Hades 2 is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S on the 14th of April. Now, remind me, Scott, is this a Game Pass title as well, Hades 2?
I mean, it sounds like it would be something that would be coming to Game Pass, but, I would like to hazard a guess that, it potentially probably would be coming to Game Pass. Some of my own research is telling me that it does come to Game Pass in April as well. So, yes, it's a Game Pass title.
Lovely, jubbly.
Do you like that wee waffle there? Because I had no fucking idea, but I had to go and Google it.
Handled like a pro. I think we can say handled like an absolute pro. No, you're right in what you're saying, because it's one of those ones where I think if you go in Game Pass, and this is the type of stuff that I think really does add value to that service. I would love it if these rumours about a Game Pass tier that's a bit cheaper would come about. Or even I was watching 128 kilobits, 128 KB podcast. You see them on YouTube. Go check the guys out if you're into handheld gaming. And one of the hosts on that was talking about how he would prefer if Game Pass had to choose your own features and benefits type model, as opposed to you've paid for Ultimate and you get all this free Fortnite shite. I'm like, that's a really good idea. Didn't even think of that. But got to put them in the radar as well. Well worth it if you're into your handheld gaming. Really, really nice guys on that show. But I digress. Hades 2 finally coming to consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox, and including Game Pass. If you've got either and you've not played, go play it. That's absolute lock of the week. You know what I mean? Just that's if there's one thing I'm going to say to pick up this month, definitely make sure it's that. You're going to thank yourself for it. And I'm going to move on to another game that I believe is on Scott's and a lot of other people's radars, which is Replaced. Scott, that's coming to I'll just double check. Xbox Series X and S and PC on the 14th of April. Scott, is this one that you are still looking forward to? I believe it's like a 2.5D platformer type.
Platformer.
With the
It has
cyberpunky vibes.
It has such a fucking cool ass art style, but it's maybe something that falls into my lap. Yeah, I mean, it still continues to look good. I think it's been delayed a fair bit. Like kind of on a few different occasions, but one that I think will definitely be looked at. I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if I can
Is
get
that
it
on
for
Game
people,
Pass as well?
I'm not sure. You can check that. Also, I just read out the description here from the Steam page, which is expose the sinister secrets of Phoenix Corporation as Reach, REACH, an AI trapped in a human body, set in an alternate 1980s America scarred by nuclear catastrophe. Navigate a dark cyberpunk thriller in this narrative-driven 2.5D platformer, blending cinematic exploration with fluid, free-flow action. It does look cool as all hell, to be fair. I mean, if it's on Game Pass, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of those ones. Is it?
Yeah.
Hell yes, I'll be going to check that out then on Game Pass. Thank you.
I'll need to subscribe to the same fucking Game Pass again.
That's 2 reasons why, I suppose, already. This is not a push for Game Pass, but there you go. But there you go, 14th of April. It seems to be a big day, 2 in the 1. So yeah, I'm going to move on. 2 days later, Scott, I know this is a game that's definitely on your radar, which is Tomodachi Life Living the Dream on Switch and Switch 2 on the 16th of April. Scott, you played the demo last week, didn't you?
I did, yeah, and it was brilliant. I think that's all I needed to play of it, though. I don't know how much more you're going to get out of it. I'm sure that people will be playing it like they would have played Animal Crossing for years and years and years on end, but I had my fill with it, I think. And yeah, if it ever gets cheaper than it does, then I might pick it up in the future. But if you're a fan of Tomodachi, you know you're going to love it, and it's hilarious. Some of the stuff you're seeing coming out of it, the footage and stuff like that, is absolutely hilarious. So just take a minute to go and look at it because it's so funny.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look like it's I get a funny feeling this appeals to your sense of humour more than I. So you might be weak for it. To be honest.
I think you might be right.
But yeah, that's on the 16th of April if you want to go check that out, if you've got Switch or Switch 2. 17th of April, we've got Pragmata, which is on PC, Switch 2, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. I totally forgot it's coming to Switch 2 as well, actually.
Apparently runs well on it.
Really?
Yeah, apparently runs really well on it.
Capcom, doing some Willy Wonka shit in terms of that RE engine, just doing wonderful things. Things are able to run on stuff you didn't realise it could. But yeah, fair play to them. I know this has been on people's radars for a long time. It was almost a meme game for a long time. Scott, we were joking last week about it. Like I've seen, this is top of your most anticipated list and stuff. But are you actually going to check this one out? Or are you going to wait and reviews or stuff?
Probably wait and see, to be honest with you. I played the demo for it, and it didn't hit. It's got a cool sort of like a hacking mini game when you're fighting enemies where you hack them and basically like you can weaken them to the attacks and stuff like that you have. But that was really it for me. There's something weird about grown man and little girl dynamic that I just can't get on board with at the moment. But they did a cool thing today with the Mega Man tease, because people keep on pretending it's a Mega Man game and they just haven't told us. So they released a video with the guy Hugh, the main character, in a Mega Man outfit. So that stoked the fires of the internet, and people are excited. But I think with it, it's just one of those. It's curiosity, like it's just maybe. So we'll see on April 17th if I fall into a game store at that time. Then you might see me picking up a copy of Pragmata while I'm there.
Oh no, I've tripped to fail. As always. Well, then a few days later, Scott, 21st of April, Vampire Crawlers is finally coming out. PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S and Switch. No Switch 2 for that one yet. I must admit, I played the demo of that and I came away thinking, I can wait till I play that game. It just maybe wanted to play Vampire Survivors. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hate to be so down on it because I was so looking forward to it, but if I'm being honest, it's something I'm probably going to pass on at release. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Same as you. I didn't like the demo. I thought that, take away the fun part of the actual game and make it boring. So, I wasn't into it.
Yeah, 100%, man. But I'll move on. 23rd of April, the Kiln is coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, which is the little Game Pass game, I suppose. It's coming to that as well. Little multiplayer game where you play the ceramic pots from Double Fine. I'm probably going to check it out just because it is Double Fine and it'll be on Game Pass. And if you've got a subscription that month anyway, Scott, with everything else, you might as well check it out as well. I'm not expecting big things from it. I think it could just be like a fun one and done type game, but who knows? It could be something else. But yeah, that's on 23rd of April as well. But that, we then start to kind of round the month off, kind of got like a little bit of lull for our main event. You'll have a couple of anniversary editions coming on the 28th. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim coming to Switch 2, and Fable on Fallout 4 anniversary edition Switch 2 on both on the 28th of April as well. Moving into the 30th, a big, massive game that Scott is dying for, and that's Invincible Versus, which is on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S.
I knew you were going to do it. I knew that's exactly what you were
going. Scott, look, I know you're a fan of Invincible, aren't you? The show.
I mean, I watched the first few seasons,
Yeah. I know you enjoy a fighting game. Is this doing anything at all for you? Because when it was announced, I thought, I think this could be Scott's jam, but yeah, on it.
There's like it's like a morbid curiosity. Every single time I see it, I think it looks ugly. Like, I don't think it looks like something it doesn't look anything to look at, but it's coming from a team that I believe is a team made up of like other folks. I mean, of course, but I think, I don't know, like, they seem to be, they've pushed it out quite quick. It seems like that they've done quite a lot with it, and a lot of the characters are there and stuff as well. So if you're a fan of Invincible, you're going to enjoy it. For me, there's not enough. There's not enough there for me. Like, I don't have any affinity to the characters or anything like that. It's not like a Mortal Kombat where I can enjoy that for the characters that are there, or like a Street Fighter or something, because I know what I'm getting out of that. With Invincible, it's going to live and die by the actual, fighting itself. So I'll wait and see. I'll watch some streams of it when it comes out, and we'll see kind of how that goes. But it's not a full price title. It's like 45 quid or something like that. I just saw this. It might do all right. I mean, I think the fighting fans need games like this. It's like the Avatar game that's coming out soon that people keep a dead eye on as well. So it's something that I'll keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, of course. And well, I'm looking forward to see if you do pick up. But of course, that's not the main event. We are joking. But on the 30th, I know that Scott Curry, his diary is booked. And even mine, even though I wasn't as big a fan of the predecessor as yourself, again, the Scott Curry platinumed and thoroughly enjoyed. But of course, this game is Housemarque's Saros, coming to PlayStation 5 exclusively on the 30th of April. Scott, it looks like we've finally got our first big PlayStation exclusive in a while. Asking the obvious question, how excited are you for this game?
Buzzing, man. I can't even describe it. Watching all the gameplay snippets coming out from the press event in Helsinki, and it's just been like, oh man, I just need this shit now. It's honestly stoked the fires for a return to Returnal. You know what I mean? Like, it's been one of those things where I could go back to it, but I just can't wait. Those are the kind of games that obviously you have the endless parts of it, which is just the runs themselves, but it does come to a conclusion. Like, you do get finality in there, which is good. Plus, it's Rahul Kohli. Like, I know he's a fucking dirty Liverpool fan, but he's also a big handsome bastard. So,
oh god, you've pissed off the Arc Raiders community, and the Liverpool fans are going to come for you, Joe. No, you're right. I mean, Rahul Kohli, big fan of his work. I think, like, whenever he shows up in any kind of game, like in TV show, movie, he's always a delight. And I'm glad to see he's kind of getting the leading man position here, because he's definitely earned it. And he's going to give like a rock solid performance in that. I'm going to make a prediction with Saros, though, is that I think this is going to be the first game that Scott Curry has platinumed in a while, but also the first game you're going to go platinum after the birth of your son in the summer. I think this is the perfect game that you're going to be just getting reruns in there, here and there, the reruns of sleep and all that. I think that's going to be the game that you're going to be returning to.
Plugging away at. Well, you don't think I'm going to do it before?
No, because I think you're going to enjoy it. I don't think you're going to rush it. And you might well do it. You might. There's every chance. I just think that this is going to be a game that's going to be very high on your Game of the Year list. And I hope it is. I hope it is. And Returnal, the thing for me with it was actually more so the setting part of it. Because it was a bit eerie and all that stuff. And I was just like, the cowardly in me was coming out slightly short.
Liam, but please, you get past that point. You've cut yourself off of one of the best games of all time for its first area. The first area is the worst point, but it gets so much better. Like, that game is an all timer, and it's with a PS5, especially on your beautiful big telly, Liam, you could see that in beautiful OLED goodness. Oh,
aye, that's a good point. I'd actually I'm quite looking forward to kind of hooking up to the monitor here, to be honest with you. As it gets smaller, you can definitely appreciate those wee particle effects all the more. But I think I will check out Saros. I was tempted the other day. I was like, Dad, just try and pre-order it. I know this is going to be 9s and 10s out of 10, but I'm like, right, okay, we'll just see. Might just be like, on the day of release, pick it up, see what's happening. But I'm very, very excited for yourself for that, because I know it's been one that's been on the list for a while.
Indeed.
Yeah. April holds a lot of big, chunky ass games in there, but it's not all about the games, Scott. We've also got a big movie release at the start of April, which is actually at the time of recording, and by the time this podcast reaches you, of course, it means then the Super Mario Galaxy movie has hit theatres. Something that I think pretty much all people listening to this show is either looking forward to going to see with the wee ones, watching with the wee ones at some point, or maybe just the big kid in them just wanting to watch it themselves. We've all got an interest in it. We can't deny it. And that's kind of going to push us nicely into this week's main topic, Scott. But before I do, I think we should just remind you once again, if you want to go support the show, you can. It won't cost you a penny, so just go join that free Patreon community. Visit patreon.com/pixelparents for every show, chats, and bonus shows such as the patch notes, new episode up this week. Free all the time, and go subscribe to us on YouTube as well at youtube.com/pixelparentspodcast. Right, Grift, over. I can't even say it's a grift because it's all for free anyway. Best deal in gaming. Go over there. But
you buy one, you get one free.
That's going to be in my head all night. But yeah, it's got Super Mario Galaxy movies here, right? And in the lead up to it, I should say at the time of recording, we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the film. We were not invited to premieres and all the rest of it, nor should we, because we've got wee ones there that we can go see. I've got my tickets booked for the weekend. I'm going to go on the Saturday morning, I think, so just the day after this goes live, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I've been staying away from spoilers, although Nintendo did go out their way to spoil the fact that Fox McCloud is in the movie.
Shite. So stupid.
From the Star Fox series, but yeah, it's felt strange, but then I'm like, right, okay, all these rumours were starting to bubble. Are they building up to a Super Smash Brothers thing? Now, I could very well be wrong, and this is the fun of doing it this way, because next week we get to be like, man, we wrote some checks there, maybe right or wrong. But for what I'm gathering is that it's not actually building up to that, and that's what led us to this main topic, because let's think big, Scott. I think it's an opportunity for us to really think and do what Nintendo aren't, which is, how would you build out the Nintendo cinematic universe in terms of all these building blocks, all these franchises they've got there? We know the Super Mario Galaxy movie is going to make likely over $1 billion, or at least damn close to, like the last one did, that made over $1 billion. But is this the perfect time to do so if you're looking at the success of these Mario movies with that Illumination partnership?
Yes.
I mean, a very
cromulent answer. It's
big in that.
I did big in that role. I mean, there's no time as good as any, is there? Like, it's you've obviously got the theme parks and stuff like that now. Release of a brand new console, you could stoke the flames, the fires, and take advantage of rising prices of other consoles where you could bring a brand new set of folks in. I think that if Nintendo were clever, then they could really take advantage of all this, because this is what people at Sony, people at fucking Xbox, things like that want. They crave this. Instead, we've now got some shitey God of War with Opie from fucking Sons of Anarchy. So it's like, but was that his name? Was that his name in that TV show? By the way,
well remembered. Well remembered.
Look at that, man! Look at that. But it just seems like as good a time as any, to be honest with you. And it's just been leading to this point, hasn't it?
All roads lead to here. Yeah, I think you're right. When I saw Fox McCloud, he was there, and it's in the poster, Glenn Powell, all the rest. It's like, all right, cool. And you're thinking, are they actually going to do it? Because I believe that's the first like crossover that he's had into like a Mario property. I'm not going to count Super Smash Brothers, but I'm like, that's a bit of a statement. But then you're like, the gamer in you gets carried away.
Yeah.
And I think Miyamoto's came out and he's basically been like, no, we're not really wanting to kind of go down that route. But I was thinking, why not? You know, a Super Smash Brothers movie, let's face it, because the Mario Galaxy movie has came out to even worse reviews than the first one. Surprising nobody. Like, we know what these films are, right? I mean, let's face it, the Super Mario franchise is hardly known for its narrative sturdiness. You know, that's not why you're there. You're there for the spectacle, and you're there for the the spectacle of it all. It's a weird ass property that shouldn't work, but it is catnip for kids. And the first film,
just full stop in that point right there. It is a film for kids. Like that is all it has to be. Chewing gum for kids. That like, if you are journalist from the Times, Kevin Maher, who wrote one of the most scathing reviews of it, go and take a fucking run and jump, mate. Like, it is a film for children. Illumination, people who make Despicable Me, people who made a film about minions who do not speak, which had, really no point. It's just like, come on, fuck, mate. Like,
that's the thing. Like, we're naturally going to hear a lot of fellow gamers, and you'll hear your favourite content creators go out there. And this is not a film. It is kids are the target audience, right? You don't have to have kids with you to see it, but I think it's so much made for kids that if I was going to go see this film, so say me and you decided to go to the pictures, just the two of us, for the podcast and watch it, I would feel rather strange. And I would feel very out of place, because I'm looking forward to this as a family experience, like to take the wee ones out with me. Not saying that's what you have to do, right? But I think you're going to feel very out of place. And I did have a little chuckle when I see some people, more prominent creators online, kind of really getting into the discourse about it. I'm like, mate, did you go there without kids? Because that's like, I can't picture it like an 8:00 at night showing to see the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And I'm not judging, I'm just like, it's because this film is like, I don't really know. It's not like the Minecraft movie. No, you're judging. Minecraft movie kind of appealed to an older demographic. This one very much was like a Bluey movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It does feel like this is definitely for that younger demographic. Like chewing gum for the eyes, something that they'll want to replay over and over, like the Minecraft movie, which was excellent. And that was a lot better than people gave it credit for, I would say, because it did have some heart, made an attempt at it, but it was going for an older audience. It needed that substance. This, it's just like, cool. If you got Mario stuff, chuck in some catchphrases, some references for old farts like us. We're up the road quite happy. 1.5 hours, brilliant. They don't get up and out of their seat. Job done. And then they'll walk out and you'll say to the wee one, did you enjoy that? And I bet you 9 times out of 10 they're going to turn and go, that was brilliant. Can I see it again? I want to get the toys. I want to get this. And that's really it. And I can think of a lot of movies that I saw as a kid that was the same thing. You know what I mean? And I suppose before we build out this NCU, reviews aren't the be all and end all. I mean, Steven Spielberg's Hook was critically panned at release, and it goes on to become cherished by many people round about our age because we watched it as kids and we're not watching it for the critical depth and for the discourse for like that. That was a cool Peter Pan story. as what it is. There's more to critique than simply, a 5-star review in a paper or something like that. But hey ho, but I know why they've had enough of that, right? Fuck them. Put them to one side. This is about us, Scott, right? So we've been put in charge, right? We're both the new Kevin Feige's of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Scott, the first question we've got to make, right? Miyamoto's like, listen, lads, I want to do something that's like Marvel and it's building to something. So the first question is this all then Super Smash Brothers facing? Or do we just go for a more Mario and Friends approach? Or is our event movie Super Smash Brothers? Because I'm thinking it has to be. It has to be. We've got to build that as our Avengers like movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
the nail on the head. You have to build out the whole gang. Do you know what I mean? We have to have standalone movies for every single member of the Smash Brothers cast. I want the Fox movie. Give me it. I want the Luigi's Mansion movie. Throw it at me. I want a Peach. Give me a Peach movie. These characters are big enough to have their own thing. But Liam, the one film that I want more than anything else, the one that I want before, this is the Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Of the Avengers side of things is give me Kirby. Give me a gritty Kirby movie. Which is just the whale. Brendan Fraser's the whale, but instead of the whale, it's Kirby.
It's Kirby. Oh, the Oscar bait movie. Right, we've got that in there. I'm totally with you. Kirby is central. I got really bored today and I put way more thought into this than I should have.
God, right, okay.
Kirby's central to this event, Super Smash Brothers. Right, I'm starting at the end. I'm totally with you, but I was like, right, we need a core, right? We need to build up. So now you've got Mario, right? And I'm going to pretend that the Legend of Zelda movie isn't happening at Netflix, because as a caveat, this all needs to be animated. So
the thing with Liam, sorry, just before you go ahead with that, is that these movies could be animated. You know, we have so many different versions of Zelda, so many different kind of versions of canon of Zelda that you could make your own different version of Zelda within that universe.
Very true. So like, we'll treat the Netflix version almost as the Batman, but no, we're going to just James Gunn this and do Brave and the Bold on top of it. I think because of that, right, we just assume Illumination, right, we're giving them all the rights, right, because they've got that style, the minions, they've got something there that's like the kids go mental for. So we know the money's there, right? That's bankrolling this, right? It's got Mario, you've got Zelda, and I thought, right, we need to get you involved with your moneymaker, so the Donkey Kong film happens.
The Donkey Kong
voice acting, right? DK's there because I think that lends itself to a little cool kid-friendly adventure. And I thought, who's the fourth? Because there's so many in Smash, and I was like, naturally, I'm like, well, I'll pick Metroid, want that, but nah, that's not what we're there for. I'm talking about we're sitting there in Hollywood, we're building the NCU. It's the fourth one, and it's Pikachu. That has to be some type of Pokemon property. I know, but you got to think about it, right? We're building this, Scott. We're building this. They're like your four big core pillars for me in this NCU right now. Controversial because there's other key franchises in this that we've got to somehow stuff in there. And also, look, there could be a TV show, there could be whatever, but I'm like, right, what do we stuff in there? You mentioned Kirby. We know we've got the Star Fox franchise there. Fox McCloud is on his way. What about Captain Falcon? When you got like F-Zero. Metroid, as I mentioned, so you get Samus in there. Even like Animal Crossing with like Isabelle. You got all these ones in there that we could keep for the Smash Brothers movie. They don't always have to go in there. But then you've got the other layers. This is the fun part. Right? But you start to go into the cameos. But speaking of which, right, I don't think that all those other key franchises should just be cameos in the Mario movie. They're not going to get anybody in the Zelda movie. You maybe get them in the DK movie, maybe you get them in the new Pokemon movie, but this is the tricky part, right? So Mario is the soul, he's your Iron Man, right? The soul of the franchise. We know he's $1 billion baby, right? DK is your breakout star. He's almost like your Captain America of it all because kids love DK, basically off the back of the last movie, not talking about games, even though Bonanza's kind of enlightened them, how dare you. Zelda, that has to be your indulgent lore piece, your Thor of it all, I suppose. But it's like the one you want to flesh out, but you can lend to the event movie very easily. And the Pokemon one is your other one that's like really going toe to toe with Mario, like the everlasting kids franchise. It needs a solid story. It needs a bit of good humour. But here's the tricky part, right? Because I just couldn't think, how do you crack it? It needs to be about Pokemon at the heart and not a trainer for the Smash event movie to work. I mean, if we're taking our kids to the movies, right, and it's like, right, new Pokemon movie, akin to Detective Pikachu, but it's like, how do you get an animated version of that that's not total monster slop, where the kids are walking away like, man, Pikachu, like, oh, that's the main guy. That's your guy for the Smash Brothers tease at the end of it. They'll be walking at the cinema and goes, do you know what that means? Do you see that big horn? It's like, it's all that stuff, but that's a tricky thing. So I'm like, in the NCU, they'd be daft not to tap into Pokemon, or we'd be daft.
I think that the modernization of Pokemon post Pokopia is going to be one of the most important things that Nintendo can do. Obviously, we've got the animes, we've got all the cartoons of our generations, you know, we've seen the movies, we've seen all that, but Pokemon has new life in it more than ever before with Pokopia, that these characters you could make that jump. You know, Detective Pikachu, throw it in the bin. Give me fat Pikachu. I want the man back. You know, I'm sick of hot Pikachu. Give me weird fat Pikachu back in my TV screen, and I'll be happy. But Liam, how do you bring it all together? I mean, I can see links between, you know, Fox has a mission. He hears about weird alien stuff happening in a different universe. He hops in his wee plane, and he ends up outside of, you know, he sees somebody rolling in a wee ball, and it's Samus and the Metroid franchise. So you could bring that together quite easily. Within that, you could somehow find, you know, some sort of tournament happening with Captain Falcon,
Yep.
where maybe you've got him racing. Think of a fast Pokemon, Liam.
Oh,
Like a really fast Pokemon.
Why is my mind went to Dodo? I have no idea why it's went to
Because it's
Dodo
an ostrich. But you could have like, or even just like a Pikachu behind the seat of a car in Captain Falcon's thing. That's just like a weird throwaway moment. But Liam, where I'm finding flaws in all this is that I'm not seeing it. You've missed the one key person here, Liam. Give me the Kirby movie. What is the Kirby movie here, and why are we forgetting that Luigi's part of this as well?
Well,
where is he gone?
He comes as part of the Mario package, you know what I mean, of that franchise, right? So the pitch that I've got here in my head or my notes is that we follow the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate template. So your Galeem and Darkon, there's basically
everyone's here.
Yeah, everyone's there, and we'll get to that. Don't you worry. That's the fun bit, right? But everyone's there, but the end of the setup movies, so you've got your Mario movies, Zelda, DK, the Pokemon one with Pikachu, is just showing them getting snatched by Galeem, right? Setting up them becoming like puppets of sorts, right?
Sorry.
But
no.
I'm getting to the good bit.
No. Oh, my mind. At the end of they get
Tell me.
an invitation. They had an invitation land. So every single end of one of those movies, you see like an invitation come. You don't see what's in you don't see what's in the envelope, but you see the invitation is there. And then in the last movie, the Kirby movie, he accidentally swallows one of them.
Well,
and then when he spits it out, he sees the words tournament.
It would work. I'm thinking, right, so we're trying to pitch this to the kids, and kids are lovable, but they're also daft. They're not going to know all the low stuff. I'm like, we've got to see the way like Fox McCloud and DK, they were the big cameo characters in these first two Mario movies, right? I think you put Kirby, put him in an adventure with Mario, just have him in there, and he needs to become the main character to kick off your Smash Brothers movie, akin to like the opening cutscenes in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where he was the first one that kind of landed in the crater. What was that again? Jeez, World of Light, that was it. And make him do the cameo in the Mario movie 3, so that he just becomes almost like, not the MacGuffin, but the character that really does kick things off and it stays true as well. And you've got him off on that quest to find the other survivors that are landing in this world, because it'll have the same problem as what Avengers Secret was going to have in the setup for it. And like, how are all these people on Battleworld and how does this make sense? Kind of the same thing that you have in here, and it only gets more complicated. But if you had it like almost like it's starting afresh and the movie opens with Kirby after being a big part of that third Mario film, because you need to introduce it to the kids. That's the thing. That's the only reason why a Kirby standalone film would be great. But I think if you had him with Mario, you're piggybacking, and it's like, right, let's push him into that. Then that's the kind of the end thing. You start off Smash Brothers, there you go, and then he starts to find all these people, get the invitations and all the rest of that. So not everybody's going to be puppets. You'll have ones fighting puppets, etc. But that's when you get to the fun part, Scott, and we can start to fold in those guest characters. We've did all these big tentpole movies, but this is where Scott Curry starts to have dream states. You know what I mean? Do you get Solid Snake turning up from MGS? Do you have Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, Bayonetta, Street Fighter characters, Fire Emblem? You even have ones like Pikmin. You know what I mean? Kid Icarus doesn't all necessarily have to be like non-Nintendo franchises. Then you have ones like, Ness, Earthbound. You'll have like Game & Watch guy, Rob, Wii Fit lady, all these people just turning up, like just as like those little kind of snippets and like battles, and it's there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Nintendo, obviously they're listening. Like Miyamoto was listening to this, taking notes, because he didn't scribble it down, and these guys are fucking cooking here. I mean, I'd quite like that. I would prefer it if Kirby did have his own film, just purely because deserving, and it'd be such a key character. And that, I suppose we do have to take a punt in the MCU, don't we? Because I'm sure at one point they thought the same. Nobody's watching a Thor film. Here we are. You know what I mean? Nobody's watching a Guardians of the Galaxy. Here we are. You know what I mean? And if all else fails, we just employ James Gunn to do the Star Fox movie and just make it Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I mean?
By the way, Liam, that, mate, you might have actually just hit something.
Telling you.
Fox creates... You've got two routes you could go down here in my head, right? Obviously, you continue on the theme with Mario Galaxy, where he's globe-trotting, checking out different areas, and he's meeting some of these characters, so he might stumble upon the world of Kirby and meet Kirby and, learn more about that world. That would make more sense, and the art style and stuff like that would fit. I think would gel quite well. Or you do create like a rogues gallery with Fox, where he creates like a group with people like Captain Falcon, for example. That's how you bring him in. Like, and they're looking for like a Samus or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's ways that you can do it. Oh my god, that is fucking incredible. Like, I could see it. I could see it happening.
It's there. They've got the pieces to stitch together. That's our job, though, Scott. Obviously, we're now big Hollywood. That's why we're here. We're making it exciting. But I mean, can you picture it? We put those pieces on the board, start getting them talking. I mean, you've seen the reaction to Fox turning up, even just that poster, and it's like, my god, like the nostalgia fireworks were going off, and rightfully so. Could you imagine if you had something like that? I think the hardest one for me to fit in it is Zelda. You know what I mean? Pokemon's a struggle because there's so much. You literally have them all. Zelda is a different thing entirely. That's why I think that almost has to be like end of the Zelda film, literally plucked away. Like you have Galeem probably just like zoop, taking him away, and that's it. He's going to get plumped out the world of light because, hey ho, that's essentially what's happening in Smash Bros. Ultimate. But I would love it because Zelda has such a deep lore of its own. It has to be in a way that you could fold it in. The events of the Smash Brothers movie happen, and then he could wake up with no memory, and you could do an adaptation of Breath of the Wild, where he has basically total amnesia from all the events, and it gives you the total. So picture film one's adapting like your classics, Ocarina or something like that. Yeah, and goes away in a wee adventure, boy at a time, Link, and then he just wakes up again in the cave. And it's like, perfect. Whole new adventure.
Or you could wake up as a Doug and you could do the events of Twilight Princess. There you go.
Exactly. But
Best Zelda game.
Any type of MacGuffin, how dare they? Any type of MacGuffin that you could put in there for that would work. I mean, the problem is with Zelda is that it does tell a very familiar feeling story every time. So I think like you could easily get away with that structure. Story 1, event movie, story 2, because then you can repeat it again because the whole amnesia factor. And it's like, right, okay, that makes sense in that way. He can be literally plucked out of that timeline, put back in, and it's like, cool, there's a continuity there. And this is obviously, this is 10 years worth of films we're talking about here, Scott.
It doesn't even have to be plucked out of the timeline. You could just wake up in the aftermath of the Smash Brothers. Like something like in the destruction, he's woken up and has absolutely no memory and is just looking for Zelda. But that's basically all it has to be. But Liam, where the fuck is Kirby in all this?
That's it. So my feeling is that Kirby would be best piggybacking off of Mario's success purely, or even like Donkey Kong, but Mario's going to be the tentpole. Yeah. So it's almost like if this is a Super Mario Galaxy movie, if you had a Super Mario Odyssey movie and you could then put Kirby in alongside that, because it fits the whole like journey, the Odyssey side of it, all these different weird and wacky worlds, and really like lean into, do you know what? The first Mario movie it didn't really do a lot with the locations that we know so much with the Mario series. Mario Galaxy, from the trailers, at least showed that it's at least given us a little bit more. Obviously, parts of it from Odyssey as well. There's a lot of influences that meshed Odyssey and Galaxy together by the looks of it. TBC. But then, why didn't they just go absolutely hell for leather on the third one and just get Kirby alongside it as well? Like, he might as well, because if he's getting opened up to a world where there's Fox and all that in it, man, make a lot of sense. The best part of all this conversation is, Scott, we could go see this film, come to record next week, and either a lot of things we're talking about has happened or things have happened that kind of nullify it all. But either way,
Mario dies.
Anyway. Mario dies. That's it. I can't believe it happened. Super Toad movie. Captain Toad.
Yeah. Captain Toad. There you go. Just play the music the whole time. I'm not going to be satisfied with any Nintendo cinematic universe until Luigi gets a mansion, Liam. It's just not right.
It has to happen, doesn't it? I mean,
it's perfect. It's a perfect film. Like, it's so annoying.
Kids need more and better Halloween movies out there.
Mm-hmm. That's what it has to be. It's just a silly Halloween movie.
It'd be great, and then you could have sequels and all the rest of it. I think they've got a good 10, 15 years out of this Mario franchise easy, on top of what they're doing. Like, and the critics might not love it,
yeah,
but it's definitely
not for them. They'll be dead by the time it's all finished anyway, so fuck them.
Yeah.
But then, we can get to a point where they can make a movie about the best Super Mario game, Super Mario Sunshine. Take us to Delfino Plaza. Let's see the place.
I don't think we can rule it out now that they're going to do something along those lines in terms of, who knows, actually. We've started to see the Galaxy movie, but
Take
who
us
knows?
To Delfino Plaza, Liam.
Yeah, they might well do. I mean, they've got so much silly lore from the Mario games, because you're not there for the story. I mean, it's so incredibly basic. It's more of a gameplay first thing and mascot type thing. But I mean, the beauty of all this is that our NCU doesn't really need all this extra. You could just do lots of endless Mario movies, but I think this is a way to smartly capitalize on all that Nintendo goodness. I mean, if our job is to sell the merch, build the story, sell the merch, that's what we're doing here. I think this NCU would be money. That's kind of like my conclusion of it. I'm like, they'd be daft to not action this immediately, Scott. Daft to not do it.
Well, Miyamoto is going to be on the phone soon, so need to clear the airways for that man to phone me, and I'll lay it down to him so he knows exactly what he's expected for it.
100%. But it is what it is. I mean, they have got nothing but endless classic games to draw on, and yeah, they can make countless movies for days. But there'll be the next in a long history between that, age-old relationship between movies and video games. And on that note, Scott, I think it's time that we do move on to our final segment of the show. Before I do, let us know what your pitch for an NCU is and what you'd like to see if you were put in charge of it. But it's time to move on now to the Pixel Picks Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme and decide which one deserves to live on the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is our definitive list of the best games we recommend and pass on to the next generation of gamers. Last week's theme was the best game that pushed gaming forward, with Doom 1993 becoming the latest addition to that list. You can tell I am struggling at this point. And in this week's showdown, we're going to be debating the best movie tie-in game we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. Now, as always, last week's winner goes last, Scott, which I believe is
me.
Yourself. Yes. So let's get to it. You picked him first, so it is yourself. So, Scott, I was going to go down the path. I had to double check the list many times. I'm like, have we done this before? Surprisingly, no, we haven't. There was a best cinematic game, but there was no movie tie-in game. Alas, I was like, right, well, I'm going to have to go towards like a GoldenEye or something, but I thought, nah, fuck that for the honourable mention, because it's already on the list. I'm going to give my honourable mention to none other than X-Men Origins Wolverine, because that game fucking slapped, by the way. Like, that game had no right being as good as it was. A fantastic game for a otherwise turgid, terrible movie. And why was it good? Because it gave people what we all hoped the movie would be, which was gory, in your face, action-packed, and it was just cool as shit. That's the only way I can describe that game. It's one of those quintessential weekend games. You pick it up on a Friday, you're done with it by the Sunday night, and you've had an absolute blast playing your way through it. I remember just being so happy and locked in, finishing work on the Friday evening when that came out, and just rattling that game, doing exactly that. A weekend of joy, blood, guts, and glory all over the place. It was fantastic, Scott. But it can't be my pick this week because there's only one other one that's coming to my mind anyway, or coming to my heart in terms of the best movie tie-in game. It's an obvious one, but it has to be Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 2, which I believe was released back in 2004. I mean, sweet Christ, it was just so damn good, Scott. They achieved the dream here. It was a Spider-Man game that finally made sense. A game for which a lot of other open world games, not just Spider-Man, superhero games, would be judged by for a very, very long time. You're talking about up until like Batman Arkham would come out. And even at that, when Spider-Man 2018 came out, there were still people out there saying, I preferred Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation. They're mad, but you know, that was definitely the benchmark. And it just went to show that you could actually make a movie tie-in game that doesn't have to just be schlock and shite, which they did with Spider-Man 3. But you know, Spider-Man 2 was special for that reason. So that's my pick this week, Scott. On to yourself.
A very decent pick, to be honest with you. It's one that I thought about myself, but I was shocked just to look at it there that it's not on the list, because I thought you would have got it on there fucking almost immediately. But no, it's not one for me that I thought I would have gone with. My honourable mention is a game that I remember playing and I remember nothing about, Liam. But if there's any opportunity to mention this movie, I will bring it up at any given opportunity. And that game, Liam, is Shrek 2.
Yes.
The Shrek 2 game was an underrated banger of a game. And it was hard. So, you know, any time we can talk about Shrek is a time that I want to be involved with. But it's my honourable mention for this week, just for the meme, because I need to talk about them. But my movie tie-in game for this week is a game that I've actually replayed fairly recently, and potentially bought a Steam Deck to allegedly play it. And that game is The Warriors from Rockstar, PlayStation 2. It is an expansion of the actual lore itself of the game, so it leads up to the events of the movie and shows you how the kind of people are recruited and stuff like that. I think that what it does so well is that if it was a random game about the Warriors, but didn't have that cast of characters that the Warriors had, you'd have been like, what the fuck is this? Poundland Warriors, do you know what I mean? But this game had basically every single warrior available there. It captured that atmosphere that the film had as well. Plus, it's just fun to fucking play. You know what I mean? Walking around robbing people and punching fuck out of them has never felt so good. And you know, it would have been easier just to have made this just a quick throwaway title, but it really was beloved, and you think that it is. You know, it's one of those games that people continue to go back to. And it also has one of the greatest openings to a video game that I think I've seen in a very, very, very long time. So much so that I actually recorded it on my Steam Deck because the guy stands in front and he goes, "Can you dig it?" And it's fucking excellent. And it's just got all these different gangs and stuff walking to this meeting point and stuff as well. It's just excellent. But it doesn't hold a candle to Spider-Man 2, Liam. I can't even deny it. I'm not even going to go into the argument for it because Spider-Man 2 is a special game.
It really was. It was.
You hit the nail on the head where people talking about, you know, the Spider-Man games of our time now and still go back and think about that game. You know, people would buy consoles, people would emulate that game just because it is so damn good. And it was just a marvel, you know.
Hey.
It was just a Sony. No, it was an absolute fucking brilliant game. So I don't think you could just a Sony. It's stupid. I don't think you could make it anything else, to be honest with you. I think that if you're looking at the best movie tie-in games, it really is only one, and it's going to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And, you know, to say the Warriors really isn't one that you should overlook. You know, if you can allegedly get your hands on it, it's well worth checking out. You can buy I think it's on PS4, PS5 version, but I believe that version is shite.
Does it work?
You could allegedly do what Scott allegedly had done and check it out, but it's a wonderful game as well. Another one from that era of Rockstar that sadly goes overlooked in a lot of cases. I'm with you, man. Like Spider-Man 2 was one. It is one of those games that a lot of people who they talk about the PS2 generation that holds a candle for them. You know, it's just like that's a game that we all spent a lot of time playing back in the day. You know what I mean? Purely to get up and swing about New York City, live the dream, and yeah, it was fantastic, and it still holds its charm to this day. All you have to just think to yourself is the pizza music, and that's you.
Aye. True.
But a big massive then congratulations to Spider-Man 2. You are the next entrant on the Pixel Picks list as the best movie tie-in game. Scott, can you believe we're only now 2 more entries away from completing the 100? So we have got to think about how we have some fun with that top 100 games that we now officially have, the Pixel Parents Top 100. And I know I'm dying here, slowly falling apart as always, folks. Pixel Penis, that's the other bonus show. And yeah, we've got the top 100 there, and we've got to think about the next phase of the Pixel Picks Showdown, which I'm looking forward to. I just need to make a last few tweets, Scott, before we unleash it on this world. But yeah, looking forward to that one. But yeah, on that note, it does bring us to the end of this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us. Go support small independent games media out there. If you like what you hear and enjoy the show, share it on social media. Just tell your pals about us. Leave a 5-star review. Whatever you choose to do makes a huge difference. I can't actually begin to tell you how big a difference it makes, and we heart you for that.
Liam, yeah, you can't begin to tell folk how big a difference it makes in it. You know, all this sharing, all these likes and everything is doing a fucking decent job at, you know, pushing up YouTube and stuff like that as well. We're starting to see a little bit of movement on there, which is pretty nice. More people getting to listen to the show. Patreon's doing numbers, so it's pretty good. Like it's been an interesting few weeks in terms of developments for the show, and it's something that I like to keep an eye on as
100%.
I can, you know.
And we do have listeners who all support the show and share it every single week. We see you, we know exactly who you are, and thank you for doing it. You are the real ones, the OGs out there, for joining us. And what it says, Scott did mention You know, there's a lot of cool stuff happening as well on Patreon. You can go join the free Patreon community at patreon.com/Pixel Parents to support the show. It doesn't cost a dime. It never will. And you can get more bonus stuff. If you want to hear your old dads talk or even just join in some community chats, etc., let us know what you'd like to see on there as well. We'll be more than happy to kind of check that out and make it just a cool wee space where we can hang out, just do more content for you, more conversations, and keep that free best deal in gaming. On that note, Scott, before I wrap things up, before it gets to test time, there's too many fucking adverts on podcasts these days. Have you noticed it?
It's like, fucking outrageous, isn't it? Like,
there's
adverts everywhere. It's just ridiculous.
A shilling that's happening here.
If I have to hear Paddy McGuinness talk about fucking the most wonderful time of the year, honestly, I'm going to fucking launch myself out a window.
Yeah.
That fucking big cunt.
I know it's a business, right? I know it's all a business, so we're fortunate enough to not have to do this for a business site, but Jesus wept, I pay Spotify Premium to not get all these ads. Like, I'll quite happily skip past your ad reads, but then to get like a random ad on top of that, I'm like, and I've noticed over the last year, I'm like, man, you're getting greedy. Let's stop this. It's getting silly, and let's move on, because I tell you one thing, YouTube's well on my sites as well, because the ads you're getting on that now is horrendous.
And
anyway,
you could skip them before, but now when you skip them, you're skipping them onto a different advert.
Yeah, for a minute. And if you watch
some of the ads are fucking mad as well. Like, some of the weird fucking AI pish that you're getting, even on like Instagram, it's like people in Scotland can get solar panels. It's like, alright, mate, fucking hell.
I know, and I suppose that brings us back to the point as to why we're going to keep this free Patreon community and everything else that we're doing for free. Listen, there's a plus side to be the best, smallest show that nobody's heard of out there in gaming. You're not going to get any ads on this, I assure you for that. But Scott, it's test time. Where can people find you if they wish to chat more balls with you online?
Chat more balls. I am available on Blue Sky. I'm going to cough at lamaman.bsky.social. I took a wee drink of Coke and now it's hit the back of my throat.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Well, whilst he's coughing and dying, just reiterate, it's at lamaman.bsky.social. If you want to follow me on Blue Sky, I'm at carmelite.bsky.social, where you can probably see both of us ranting about the price of petrol. A big massive thank you to our producer and music man, the very talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. Go show him some love. Check out his work on Instagram at barehandsdesigns and barehandsdesigns.com. And you can listen to the next episode on all the major podcast platforms. Follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social. He's getting there, Scott. He's getting there. And write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. Whatever you are, like, share, subscribe, just play some damn games. But until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
Release the Kirby cut.
I'm going to make all the money. All the money.